The spotlight effect. You think everyone notices your mistakes? They don't. We massively overestimate how much people pay attention to us. The placebo effect. Your brain can heal your body just because you believe a fake treatment is real. Belief is physical. The nocebo effect. The evil twin of placebo. Believing something will hurt you can actually create physical symptoms of pain. The Tetris effect. Do something all day, and you'll see it in your sleep. Your brain rewires to spot patterns you focus on. The Zeigarnik effect. Why cliffhangers drive you crazy. Your brain remembers unfinished tasks much better than completed ones. The Streisand effect. Trying to hide or delete information online backfires, bringing massive public attention to the exact thing you hid. The bystander effect. In danger, you're less likely to get help in a crowd. Everyone assumes someone else will do it. The Pygmalion effect. High expectations lead to better performance. If treated like a genius, you actually work smarter. The Barnum effect. Why horoscopes work. We believe generic personality descriptions are highly specific to us, even when they fit anyone. The cheerleader effect. People look more attractive in a group than when they are alone. Your friends literally make you hotter. The halo effect. If you find someone physically attractive, you automatically assume they are also smart, kind, and funny. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Incompetent people overestimate their skills, while experts underestimate theirs. Fools are confident, geniuses are doubtful. The Mandela effect. Mass false memory. Thousands of people distinctly remember events or details that literally never happened. The Hawthorne effect. You change your behavior simply because you know you are being watched or studied. The anchoring effect. We rely too heavily on the first piece of information we hear when making decisions, especially with prices. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. You learn a new word or buy a new car, and suddenly you see it absolutely everywhere. The pratfall effect. Highly competent people become more likable when they make a clumsy mistake. Perfection is intimidating. Flaws are endearing. The golem effect. The dark side of Pygmalion. Low expectations lead to decreased performance. Treat someone like a failure, they'll fail. The IKEA effect. You place a disproportionately high value on things you partially created or assembled yourself, like cheap furniture. The endowment effect. We value things more simply because we own them. You'll sell your old mug for $10, but won't buy it for $5. The framing effect. You react differently to the same information depending on how it's presented. 90% fat-free sounds better than 10% fat. The sunk cost fallacy. You continue a bad relationship or finish a terrible movie just because you've already invested time in it. The mere exposure effect. You tend to develop a preference for things or people simply because you are familiar with them. The Diderot effect. Buying one new thing leads to a spiral of buying more things to match the new standard. Risk compensation. When introduced to safety measures like seatbelts, people tend to take more risks because they feel safer. Troxler's fading. Stare at a fixed point long enough, and the unchanging things in your peripheral vision will literally disappear. The paradox of choice. Having too many options causes anxiety and decision paralysis. Less choice actually makes consumers happier. The false consensus effect. You overestimate how much other people agree with your own beliefs, preferences, and habits. The decoy effect. Adding a third less attractive option makes one of the original two options look like a fantastic deal. The nostalgia effect. Remembering the past induces positive emotions and literally makes you feel physically warmer in a cold room. The ostrich effect. The tendency to completely avoid negative financial or personal information by figuratively burying your head in the sand. The rhyme is reason effect. We are more likely to believe a statement is true if it rhymes. Poetry sounds like facts. The Google effect. We tend to easily forget information that can be quickly found online through search engines. The cocktail party effect. Your brain's ability to focus your auditory attention on one particular stimulus while filtering out massive background noise. The boomerang effect. When someone tries too hard to persuade you, it backfires, and you adopt the completely opposite view. Rosy retrospection. We remember past events as being much better and more positive than they actually were at the time. The forgetting curve. We lose information over time when there is no attempt to retain it. You'll forget half of this video tomorrow. The Benjamin Franklin effect. If you do a favor for someone you don't like, you will actually start to like them more. The serial position effect. You are most likely to remember the first and last items on a list and forget everything in the middle. The overview effect. The cognitive shift reported by astronauts when viewing Earth from space, creating a profound sense of global unity. And that was 40 psychological effects in record time. Which one blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments, subscribe to Explainly, and see you next time.